Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and talk about section 1.5, and that's going to start on page 53 of your book. And this has to deal with, the section is titled Addition of Real Numbers. So the reason they specify real numbers is because later on we're going to find there are numbers called imaginary numbers. And then again, then you don't have to worry about that now, but we will cover that later on. But for now, we'll talk about any real number, any number that we're used to seeing, 1, 2, 5, -10. Those are going to be referred to as real numbers. So one of the easiest ways we can learn how to add and subtract real numbers, especially maybe when we're dealing with negative numbers, is going to be by using a number line. So here's examples 1 and 2 kind of combined into one little section. We're going to use the number line to go ahead and illustrate how we can combine numbers, how we can add and subtract uh, real numbers. An easy way we can do this is we go ahead and look at the expression 3 plus -5. That's the way we say this. 3 plus -5, not 3 plus -5. Anytime you see a little negative sign attached to one of these numbers, it's negative, not minus, okay? So get used to saying negative. 3 plus -5. What we always like to do is start off with the first number, 3. And this is 0. We'll go and call all the dark ones 0 all the way across. So 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's put a dot here. This is where we start off with. Now, one little trick that we want to use is anytime we see a value that we want to add or subtract, we look at the sign in front of it. In this particular case, we see it's a -5. So anytime we see a negative number, we always want to go this direction. So let's make a note. This direction means negative, and this direction means positive. So if we started at 3 and we have a -5, we got to add to it. We got to go in this direction. So we got to go in this direction 5. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what value does this end up as? -2. So our answer here is -2. And that makes sense, right? We can put this kind of into a word problem. If we won $3 at the casino and we spend 5, how much did we leave owing? And we owed negative. We lost $2 essentially at the casino. So that's the exact same way the number line works. Okay, let's go ahead and do the second example. We start off in this case with the -3. So negative values are going to always be on the left side of 0. So 1, 2, 3. We see we have -3 right there. And now we have to add a -4. We know that when we're adding, we see the negative makes us go this way. So we got to go 4 that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll end up here. And that turns out to be -7. So this guy is -7. And this also makes sense. If we owe, so anytime you see the word negative or see the little negative, think of it as owing. Anytime you see a positive or or there's no sign, that means it's positive, think of that as gaining. So in this case, we lost $3, then we lost $4 more. We end up losing a total of $7, right? The last example, we'll go ahead, we'll look and we'll say, okay, it starts off with the -6. -6 is way over here. And then they want us to add a +2. So we know that when we're adding +2s, we go this direction. So we go 1, 2 this direction. Well, that still leaves us in the negative side because it's on the left of 0, but that's -4. Again, that kind of makes sense, right? If we owe $6 and we pay and we earn, so if we're in debt $6 and we find $2 on the ground, we only owe $4 now. So that's always a good direction to go when you're in bills, to go this direction to the right. Example 3 and 4 are also going to be kind of combined. They're going to ask us to add these without using the number lines. So just kind of take into example what we found here. What we're going to start with is -11 plus -15. So we owed someone $11 and we owe them another 15 because it's a negative there. We owe someone 11, we owe them another 15. We owe that person we owe them a total of $26, right? So our answer should be -26. Money always helps to solve these types of problems. It really makes it easy. In this case, we see we owe someone 0.2. then we have to add to our debt another 0.8. So we owe some 0.2, and then we have to owe them some more 0.8. So 0.02 minus or plus a negative 0.8 is going to equal a negative 1. And using a calculator here can help you check your work. So in this case, we have two fractions. Again, fractions are just numbers, so we shouldn't get too concerned when we see these. We have a negative 3/4 plus a negative 1/2. Well, the first thing we need to do, as we remember from last section, is to go ahead and get a common denominator. The common denominator here is going to be 4, so we have to rewrite that negative 3/4 plus a negative 2/4. So we know our answer is going to be in fourths. Now all we have to do is perform the calculation of our numerators on top. Negative 3 plus a negative 2. So if we owe someone 3 and we have to owe them another $2, we end up with negative 5. So our total answer is going to be negative 5/4. Just some more examples here. Negative 13 plus 4. So we owe someone $13, but then we gain $4. So if we're in debt 13, but we gain 4, our total number there is going to be negative 9. So we're only down $9 now. In this case, we're down 0.2, but then we gain 0.8. So 0.2 again is a negative, but if we gain 0.8, we see here that 0.8 is bigger than 0.2. So that's going to make this value end up as a positive value at the end, and that's going to be 0.6. So now we're actually up 0.6. And again, these are just fractions. We know our common denominator is going to be 4. So we have negative 3/4 plus 2/4. We know our denominator is going to be 4 in our final answer. And now we just got to perform the operation of the numerators. Negative 3 plus 2. So we owe 3, we find 2, we're only down 1. So negative 1/4 is our answer here. Now that's it. You should be able to start on section 1.5. Good luck.